and this is where it all started for me. I guess it may have been 10 years ago now, or getting on for 10 years perhaps. I think this one is a wilderness beaver. Isn't that cute? I'm going to walk to Govilon and see well, if anything remains there of those boats. Show you. Yeah, it's so sad. Yeah, most of the boats are cruiser type boats. I think I needed to come here today because I've been getting withdrawal symptoms, and I only left Gladys on Monday. Oh, I tell you what, I'm really hot. So I'm doing it backwards this week. I'm recording the start of the video after I've done it. So I've just done about a 4-mile walk along the canal here at Gilwern, and yeah, I just thought I'd do it this way. Yeah, very enjoyable. I'm very hot. My jeans are wet. It's not been a particularly nice day weather-wise, but it's a good walk, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. I'm not going to say any more now. I'm just going to hand over to myself, approximately half a mile away from this car park, somewhere on the Monmouthshire and Brecon Canal. Hello YouTubers, and welcome to Gilwern, which is on the Monmouthshire and Brecon Canal. It's Saturday the 22nd of November 2025. A lovely day, as you can see. I've come back here today to do a walk of I guess around 2 miles from here along the canal to the village of Govilon, which is the next sort of major stop on the canal. So yeah, Castle Narrowboat is based here. You can see some of their boats here, and this is where it all started for me. I guess it may have been 10 years ago now, or getting on for 10 years perhaps, that Janet booked a holiday for us on one of these boats. Herself and a few others from the family came along, and yeah, I've never been on one of these before, and I have to say, you know, within like hours of getting on board, I absolutely hated it. I absolutely hated it, the whole experience, and I couldn't get off it quickly enough, and that is the truth, believe it or not. And so of course, knowing that, Janet did the very wise thing and booked us another holiday on another boat on the Oxford Canal for the next year, and that was a bigger boat too. I think that was about a 60-footer that. And that's where everything changed for me. I decided I'd have another go, and even though it was a bigger boat, it felt like being stood at the back of an oil tanker. But even though it was a bigger boat, I seemed to manage it okay. And quite soon I actually found myself enjoying it, which I was very surprised at. And I was quite sad at the end of the week when we left, and that was on the Oxford Canal. I think it was at the end of that holiday that I first got the idea that, you know, maybe I quite fancy having one of these boats for myself, if I can afford to buy one. What I thought I would do though, I would see if I could hire a boat on my own for a week as a solo boater, just to make sure that I and we'd be okay. And so I came back here, back to Castle Narrowboats, and I hired I think it was the Thrift Castle it was called, and I went from here up to Brecon, through the locks and back by myself. And it was great, yeah. I handled it very well, and well, I think I handled it very well. It all went okay anyway, and then I determined that I would see about ordering a boat or buying a boat. My first thoughts were to buy a second-hand boat, something around 45 feet, and I looked and I looked and I looked, and lots of adverts on the web, on the internet, but I never seemed to be able to get to a boat in time before someone else had snapped it up. And so that's why I decided I would order a new one for Maintree Boats, and so that's what I did. And the rest, of course, is history, because I now have Gladys in Narrowboat. I've mentioned on other videos that the major disadvantage of this canal is that it doesn't connect with any other canal. It's about 35 miles long, and there's only like a handful of locks, none at all in this direction. This is the direction of Newport. The canal originally went to Newport, but now it only goes as far as Gilwern, just several miles short of Newport, but you can navigate all the way to Gilwern. One thing I've noticed, which I knew before, but I've just kind of become aware of it again, is exactly how clear this canal is, the water. You know, I'm used to the Shropshire Union, which is a sort of an orangey brown colour much of the way. That's from silt rather than anything else, I think. But yes, this water is very clear. And of course the other thing you can immediately see is how shallow this canal is. It's a really shallow canal, and running aground is something you just get used to on here. I think in the period between March and November this year with Gladys, I maybe ran aground twice on a canal, and it was, you know, it wasn't anything very serious at all. But on here you could expect to run aground quite often. I have to cross the road now to rejoin the canal, because there's no tow path through that little tunnel. I love the colour on these boats. I think I've said it on other videos, and yellow and blue, lovely striking colour. These are part of the Roadhouse Narrowboat Company. Gilwern Lady, what a lovely name for a boat. It's so pretty, these colours. A lot of these other narrowboats are moored up for the winter. Quite a number of them here, isn't there? And cruisers. So this kind of boat is described as a cruiser boat, and they're made of glass fibre. I think this one is a wilderness beaver. cute. Yeah, quite a few boats moored up here. A pretty miserable day today. This is exactly what they forecast. And it's the same tomorrow, apparently. So you may wonder, you know, why on earth have I come out in weather like this? Well, the problem is that this coming week I've got quite a few things on, things I have to do. I try and do my filming by the end of a Tuesday, so that I can take some time to edit it and upload it for you in good time. But I got so many things on this week that really I had to try and do the filming today or tomorrow. So it's usually about a day to edit them if you add up all the hours I spend, so that's why I've come out today, but that's okay. The downside is I'm going to get wet. I am wet. In fact, I'm pretty soaked, but I got a good coat on, so it's alright. And the other downside is, we're less likely to see any boats actually moving today. I mean, it's pretty cold anyway, so it's not ideal weather, even without this horrible rain. Anyway, I do want to get a video out for you every week, and I do love this canal. It's my first chance to come back here since I returned from Gladys, so yeah, I don't mind getting a bit wet. I always love this canal. I would love to get Gladys on here one day, but for the immediate future, 2026, there's quite a few new canals that I want to take her on, and then after that, the years after that, we'll just have to see. Maybe one day I'll retire Gladys onto this canal and just potter about now and then. So yeah, I'm going to be giving you videos every week. I've got a few ideas of places I can go and things to do, but I wanted to come here because this is my favourite canal and I've not seen it for a while. And also the reason I'm walking to Govilon is that a couple of weeks ago there was quite a notable event. Is unfortunately there was a fire which completely destroyed either 2 or 3 boats, I'm not sure, completely gutted them. It's such a shame. So I'm going to walk to Govilon and see well, if anything remains there of those boats, to show you. It's so sad. I've passed a few burnt out boats since March when I've been out on Gladys. I think sometimes I'll film them. Oh, it's such a sad sight, it really is. Quite a decent towpath here. It's quite firm underneath, and would be great for the bike. And all you Brompton lovers, hang in there, because I do hope to get a few rides in soon on that. I might have bought it today if it hadn't been for this rain, but it'll just get so wet and muddy and mucked up. Putting it back in the car and then cleaning it afterwards. Oh, I must sound such a wimp. But be under no illusions, I will be getting that bike going soon. And a towpath like this is absolutely what I love. Caution, sharp bend, slow to tick over. Yeah, it's definitely 90 degrees, but there's plenty of room here, which is really nice. Mr. and Mrs. Mallard here. They don't seem to be at all bothered by rain, ducks and swans and so on. Not at all. Hence the expression, water off a duck's back. It actually looks like there's a boat moored under the bridge there. Is it a bridge or is it a tunnel? I'm not sure what the distinction is actually. Wishful thinking, but as I emerge from this side of the tunnel, it looks quite bright, and maybe the rain is easing off for a while. And then again, no, it's not. It's still drizzling. It's just that I can't see the raindrops bouncing up off the water. Yeah, I wouldn't like riding my bike on this. And this is the view from Bridge 101. Not Room 101, but Bridge 101. Here's another illustration of how shallow this canal is. See it there? And opposite bank. Really, really, really shallow. Opposite me now there's quite a busy little stream coming down. I'm actually stood, I think, on an aqueduct as the water goes underneath the canal and emerges out here. You can just about hear it. And of course, lack of water was a major issue for this canal earlier this year, and at one point it looked as though it might actually be closed due to the lack of water. Of course, we've had a very, very dry spell in the spring and summer. It's made up for it now, isn't it? And yeah, there was a big problem because most of the water in the canal starts its life in Brecon and is what they call abstracted from the River Usk, and due to various changes in practice and costs, it looked as though the CRT wouldn't be able to pump sufficient water anymore from the Usk into the canal further back to maintain its depth. It's quite ironic really, because the Usk, where the water comes from, also flows to Newport, and when this canal gets to Newport it empties out into the Usk. So it's a bit of a symbiotic relationship really. Anyway, there's quite a serious chance of the canal being closed during the summer, which would have been disastrous for everyone who relies on the canal, people who live on the canal full time, people who earn their living from the canal, the boat companies, all those people who'd booked holidays, many of whom come from overseas. A lot of overseas visitors book holidays on here. I've met lots of Americans, for example. You know, they love it. All that would have been gone. Fortunately, it got public attention, and a lot of people wrote and emailed and asked the Welsh Government to intervene, and they debated it all. That's what politicians like to debate things and make promises and do a lot of big talk, don't they? And they're all very concerned about it. And in the end, sort of a temporary rescue mission was launched to find some money, and the future of the canal was guaranteed until next April. But I mean, that's only 6 months away now. So a full-time solution is yet to be found, I think. So it's worth keeping the pressure up on the politicians and officials. We just can't let this canal go. It's such a resource, and there's such a lot of wildlife living in and on and around this canal. It would be a crime, you know, to let it go. Absolutely a crime. I mean, I'm fairly confident that, you know, wise counsel will prevail and solutions will be found, money will be found, and it will carry on. You know, for my own selfish reasons, I wanted to carry on because I love the canal. And as I said, at some point, I may well want to bring Gladys onto this canal. I can only do that if it's still here. So yeah, it's in my interest for it to carry on. Here's an image of the original drawbridge that was here, or lift bridge, in 1830. This is a low one. You'd have to duck your head going under this, that's for sure. It's reassuring to see I'm not the only madman out in this weather. Seen a few people now walking their dogs. I think that gentleman's got waterproof trousers on, which are really good. I sometimes wear them when I'm doing the locks on Gladys and Narrowboat, because the lock walls are wet and slimy and absolutely disgusting sometimes, and you really don't want to get your best trousers on them. That tree's leaning quite a lot, isn't it? I would certainly reach right across to the other side if it fell. Those of you who may have visited the Big Pit Mining Museum at Blaenavon may know the village, because the road goes down there and climbs the mountain, which you can't really see, right to the top and drops into Blaenavon. And so if you were going to visit Big Pit, you may well have driven through Govilon in the past. Big Pit is somewhere I've done a video of, so if you want to watch that, you'll know all about it. And it's definitely a place I'd recommend going to, especially the underground tour. In fact, here we are. There's a sign here that says Blaenavon World Heritage Site, and the mountain to my right, which maybe you can make out the shape now, is the Blorange. Yeah. I'm by here at the moment, and the road up to Big Pit is that one. And this bend is known as Fiddler's Elbow. This climb is very popular in cycle races, where it's known as the tumble, and it's quite a test to ride up that one. I have done it many years ago, but some people actually race up there. Like Tour of Britain has gone up there. Oh, those were the days when I could do that. Oh dear. Anyway, I'm glad I didn't bring the Brompton today, because it would have got in a hell of a state. And so would I, because of all the smashes. Here's another aqueduct. Lots and lots of water there. Flowing down from the mountains, but going completely underneath the canal. This is always a place that amuses me. Look at all these directional signs these people have put at the bottom of their garden. I'm not quite sure how any CRT official would be able to get at that boat to post any notice of having to move. How would you get through all this? Oh dear, it's a bit sad, isn't it? Looks like it's been abandoned there. So this is Govilon. National Cycle Path number 46. Goes up here. Right, here we go. I have cycled down here myself in the past. The cycle route carries on. You can begin to see a bit of the mountain now. But I'm going down here. And this will bring me into Govilon Wharf. Do you know, I've never noticed this before, that there's actually a mooring sign there. I can't see any rings, but they may well be there. Sometimes you've really got to look hard to spot them, you know. If there's no rings, I guess you'd have to... Yeah, I think there is a ring there. Yeah, I can spot one now, yeah. It's quite a short space, maybe for a couple of boats. Then you've got a water point. And again, I've got no memory of seeing that before. But it looks quite an old one. I assume it works. Otherwise they would have taken the sign away. So this is the approach into Govilon Wharf. What a lovely little boat, Nelly Nevin. Isn't that lovely? I'm guessing that would be about 35 feet, so not quite as long as Gladys. Oh, here we are, the sign for Govilon Wharf. Well, I've just taken my hood down, but I think it's fooled me because it is still raining, and I don't really want to get this hat soaking wet, otherwise it won't keep my head warm. I'm glad I put it on because it's not that warm out here. Definitely milder than the last few days when it was bitterly cold. I've said this, mentioned this before, but I take my hat off to those brave souls who stay on their boats 365 days a year. Just stay out there in all these weathers. Boaters are very hardy people, but most of all are the ones who live on their boats full time. Yeah, incredible. I'm gonna have to put my hood back up because the rain is coming on again. There we are. Right, so let's have a look at Govilon Wharf, because the other side of this bridge is where all the action took place with the fire. Right, I think this was once a railway bridge, judging by the width of it. Obviously not used anymore, but a fabulous bridge. It's a testament to how well they built things, isn't it? This is 97A. So many years ago they were just built to last, with no thought that they would ever collapse. I mean, that just was never going to happen. Look at the curved nature of the brickwork there. That's just awesome, that is. Think of the skill involved there. Yeah, it was a railway bridge. You can see on this I don't know what you'd call it, poster sign. This is where coal used to be brought down from places like Big Pit to the canal, and then taken by canal down to Newport, and from there sometimes on to other parts of the world. Lovely reflections here. Lindy Long, that's an unusual name. Blue Moon, that's a nice colour. Reminds me of Bonnie, Clive's boat Bonnie, which is, as you may remember if you've been watching for a while, Bonnie was built alongside Gladys, but Clive chose a blue colour, like that. There's all kinds of boats here. They're mainly small ones. That's a Wilderness Beaver. It's got a cover on the back. They first started making them here on the canal, on this very canal. That's where they were built. Yeah, most of the boats are cruiser type boats. And of course many of them are built of glass fibre. I think that's a Wilderness Beaver too. And this, I think, must be where the fire was. Oh dear, look at that. Yeah, that looks like glass fibre. Completely, well, whatever that one was is completely gone. How sad is that? Oh God. Looks like that one and that one might have been damaged as well. That is just so sad. When I read last, it said that it wasn't known what started the fire. So it must have started on one of them, I suppose, and then spread to the other. Yeah, that one is hardly anything left of that. Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, heart goes out to the owners. Hopefully they'll have had some insurance, and hopefully the insurance will cover them. I really do hope so. Lots and lots and lots of boats here. Lovely, isn't it? I think I needed to come here today because I've been getting withdrawal symptoms, and I only left Gladys on Monday. Again, another thing I don't think I've noticed before, this is actually a winding hole here. Of course, some winding holes on canals don't actually have a sign, so it's not always immediately clear where the winding hole is. But I'm not quite sure how easy it would be to turn a 50-foot boat, given that there's one over there, parked up. Of course, these smaller boats, they can sort of turn on a sixpence. Far easier to turn than a narrowboat. And there's two more beaver boats, Wilderness Beavers. They're kind of cute, aren't they? I think they're pretty sought after, actually. That one's called Rita. Not nice. I used to have a neighbour called Rita. And that one's called Rosie. Really sweet. Just past bridge 97 there's a water point. So I don't remember this at all. And I've been down here so many times on my bike and on foot. I've never actually come down this section in a narrowboat. Only ever gone up to Brecon. Yeah, there's 97, so I'm going to head back now. And another lovely Wilderness Beaver over there. Minstrel. And of course, not being made of steel, you don't have to worry about rust with them. That looks lovely, doesn't it? That's so cute. Good, so there we are. Hope you enjoyed that video and the walk. I really enjoyed. I always enjoy my visits to the Mon Brec. It is my favourite canal by a long way for lots of reasons. It is definitely my favourite, and I was really keen to come back and see it again. Yeah, such a shame about those boats at Govilon. Such a shame. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and you know, as I always ask you, if you did enjoy it, please give it a like and leave a comment if you have something to say, and think of subscribing if you haven't already. We're over 3,000 now, so that's absolutely fantastic. But of course the next target is going to be, I guess, 3,500. Yeah, 3,500. That would be cool. So yeah, do subscribe if you haven't. That'd be much appreciated. I'll be back next week. I've no idea where I'm going to go to film next, and I've no idea what I'll be doing. But you can be sure that I will be back. Just like Arnold Schwarzenegger always says, I'll be back. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching this one, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye now.